Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of John Romita's The Amazing Spider-Man Artisan Edition Volume 2. Obviously with this lovely cover with the vulture, octopus, rhino, etc. Now, many of those characters, Sandman especially, didn't really appear in this volume, so slightly unusual there, but still. On the back you can see all the issues that are included, 106, 108, and then all the way through to 115, and as it says, in their entirety, which is not strictly true because some of them, there's no covers. So the covers are not all included. So you've got obviously the story, but not that. It's just come out from IDW. Of course, they've been bringing out lots of these ones. This is, obviously you can see, lovely soft cover. Always prefer those in many ways to the hardcover ones because the hardcover ones weigh a ton, literally impossible to lug them around the house. So this one is really great and it's a lot cheaper. I paid about £28 and you can see there $39.99 just come out, and there's all the details that you need for purchasing it. So let's go through the book. Well, just before I actually go through this one, I'm just going to show you the other ones. Here's the Artisan edition there, volume 1. So you've got a lot of stories of Spidey, lots and lots of Spidey stories available, but unfortunately not so many for things like Avengers or Defenders. For some weird reason, they don't seem to get an Artisan edition or even an artist edition. And of course, the Gil Kane one, I love this one. Absolutely brilliant. Probably my favourite of all three. And also, of course, if you want the stories in colour, of course, there's the Epic editions. Now, I'm not certain what number that would be. 5, maybe. Volume 5, maybe. I haven't checked. But this one, you can see, is volume 4 of The Amazing Spider-Man. And of course, it's got all the covers, and you can see the stories, of course, are included here. Obviously, the 106, 108. There's the covers, obviously, and brilliant artwork all the way through this. Of course, got lovely colour. Now, of course, these ones, the Artisan editions, they're in black and white because they're scanned from the original pages before, obviously, any colouring, anything like that. So let's just go through this. It's a really beautiful volume. Now, as I mentioned, probably not my favourite. I mean, still fine. I enjoyed a number of the stories that time. Really, actually, it was about time when I started collecting Spidey. In the UK, I think I got issue 116, 117, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, then they stopped at about 120 or something. We didn't get them. But there's inside the credits, and also there's all the issues. So you can see 106, 100, all the way. And also the covers. Now, they've got 109, which is an unpublished pencils, 110, but 116, 118. The story's not included, but they got the covers. But still, some great bonus material. Obviously, again, Romita, but that's just odd that they didn't include some more covers. But maybe they just haven't got them. So that's always the way, isn't it? Squash Goes the Spider. And I think they were just nice little stories, but were they sensational stories? That's why I preferred the early ones. Mysterio, loved the Quicksilver story and those sort of ones. But this, see, there's Connor's there, obviously the Lizard. See there, Spidey. Now, I think this is the point where Spidey also lost his mask. His mask was taken from him. And you had weird things where you could actually see his eyes, which I didn't really ever think worked very well. But still, I guess they had to make some variation of the stories. But you got there, see Gwen. Obviously, this was slightly before Gwen died. Sorry, a spoiler if you haven't realised that. And, of course, I mean, probably a clone is back now or whatever. I have no idea. And there's the good old Spider Slayer. Now, Smythe, I don't know how many times he turned up. Quite a few. Unfortunately for him, he always lost. Now, unfortunately also for us, that story, which had just finished, there was no other story. So he missed that one out. Issue 107. Now we go straight into 108. And we got Vengeance from Vietnam. Unusual story, but it was fine. And you can see there, obviously, brings in Flash, of course. Obviously, he went off to Vietnam, all those stories. And you can see there. And you really can actually see here, the blue pencil. Quite a lot of, if you really sort of look at that, you can see a lot of the blue pencil and all the, sometimes you can't. Sometimes the inking is really sort of cleaned down all that blue. But in this, you can definitely see, like there, where he's just, see there, just see that. And, of course, a few more scenes of Spidey bouncing around. And then enter Doctor Strange. I just love that one. Absolutely brilliant. Art Semic. Just great. Always loved Doctor Strange. So there's old Doctor Strange there. And that was a bit of a weird bit. Look at that. bit of a drawing there. I don't even know what that was. It looks like actually a photo or something. I don't know what that was. Photostat. You can see there's obviously clearly something went changed there because you got that brown. And there's a few bits like that where you can see that there's obviously was something there earlier. And it's the High Priest. And there's obviously Spidey and Doctor Strange again, and Flash there. But still, look great. There were a few pages, and of course now probably not going to find one. Oh, there's a few. You can see there. There's one. It says down the bottom, original art from in-house archive. So not every single one of them is perfectly as good as those ones. That page looks great. This one is fine, but not amazing. So that's just be aware. So it's not completely from scanned of the original inked pages. There are a few, obviously, and here's another one as well. So you can see slightly whiter, obviously, the pages. You can definitely tell difference when you're flicking through. You see obviously this page, and you can see this page. And actually, that's one thing to point out. Look at that on the front. Very odd they chose that with that mark there. Unless that mark wasn't there and I've just made it by accident. That would be weird. But also, of course, there's a bit of a hallucination, etc. there. So, to stalk a spider. Craven, not one of my favourite characters. I always found really quite annoying because he always cheated. He was always sort of honourable, what's the name, fight, but he was always doing various things. And you thought, no. Yeah. Would you turn aside without listening? Probably this guy probably started shouting at me. I probably would actually. I'd be thinking, really, I'm heading off somewhere else. No, so, but there he is, obviously having a bit of a conflict with the Gibbon character, and you got there's Spidey cops out. So that's another story there, obviously going through the winter. You've obviously got the Gibbons. Sorry, there are some spoilers, but I guess you probably read these stories in the epics and various omnibuses, so hopefully not a total surprise in the story. Of course, you know who's turning up there when as soon as you see some, Doc Ock, of course, as Doc Ock turns up. Not the best of Doc Ock stories, it was fine. It was fine, but lots of... I didn't like this character. I have to say, Hammerhead, really, and he's always going about chicken legs. And Doc Ock doing his usual smashing things. He was always doing that. You'd think for a great sign, because he developed some glasses that protects him from the... You'd think he'd have thought some other weaponry as well. I know he was always very convinced that his arms were always great, but you think, why didn't you add a few more additional features there? And, of course, there's a spy. It's incredible. But you can see what's happened now. I never really liked that. I just thought, no, somehow it was wrong. I always felt that the mask, with the earlier story, much nicer than having seen it. I don't know if that was an experiment or whether they thought, let's just try it. Maybe they got lots of letters, people saying, no, don't have that. And there's a good Hammerhead going through with his sinister rival. Was he sinister? I don't know. The last battle. Of course, it wasn't his last battle, but you always have to have that, don't you? John Romita and Jerry Conway there. Edited by Roy Thomas down the bottom there. And of course, you've got Aunt May there. She's, less said about poor old Aunt May, but there's always sort of things. Onto the covers. This one's a weird one. This one, obviously a penciled one there. You can see it's very strange, isn't it? Seeing it, a pencil cover like that, always quite nice. It's a pity they didn't scan all the covers like that. I mean, obviously you don't, why would they scan all of the sort of stories? No, but the covers, it would have been nice if every single cover had been saved in that format. Would have been nice to see them. And then, of course, there's the Gibbons one, and then on to this one, Suddenly the Smasher. And I think that was near enough the story that I first purchased, the Smasher. I had no idea who the Smasher was. And there he is again, the Smasher again. That was issue 118. I think then he got the Hulk. So old Spidey did have a few characters that were... And then John Romita, biography at the back. And obviously got that there as well. I always think the worst thing about these, and I'm just going to always put this, is this. I'm not certain why they ever did this, but they put obviously for the story. And this one, saying that, and then you got that. 112. I was looking for this bit, 112. That's probably about a good 7 or 8, maybe 10 pages that has got this. And I think, why? They could have put another story in, or maybe a few more covers, more sort of things. But it just seems to be a bit of a waste of space. Or maybe actually blown up these. If you're going to do it, I just think that would have been nice to have blown it up, maybe put it in blue or something, so obviously you can tell that it's not. But it just seems a bit odd, personally, just the Amazing Spider-Man, because you don't need to have that, and they could have probably put, people wouldn't work it out anyway, because it's got obviously 112 in there. That's just a minor point. But I've always noticed that with these editions, they always seem to have at least about 10 pages that I think, why? Why, oh why did they include that? So that's it. The Amazing Spider-Man Artisan Edition, Volume 2. Now, unfortunately, I don't think there's any more coming out at the moment. I've seen listed. If you know of any different, please let me know, because I'm always on the lookout. Now, I didn't get the EC book, because I've already got it in massive artist edition. I do occasionally buy the artist ones, but that one I did. But I think there's only Jack Kirby's Eternals one. That's it. As far as I'm aware, no other one seems to be listed. So unless you know of other, please put in the comments below. Always great to know if there's more, because I really hope the IDW bring out these artisan editions. It'd be really sad if they just stuck with artist editions. I wish they'd bring them out at the same time, personally, but I would definitely always buy the artisan. However, hope you found this of interest, useful. Will you go and buy the book? Are you going to get it? Definitely. Or have you been getting any of the other ones as well? I mean, obviously, there's quite a few now. There's about 20 odd, I think, artisan editions. So have you got most of them? Of all of them? I haven't got every single one, because I'm not going to get all of them, because like I say, I've got the artist already one. So, bye.